All right, everything is green across the board. Hoping we're good. Keith, nothing. Welcome. You guys are quick. Excuse me. A druid B or C tier. So far, I'm at first glance, I was inclined to agree. Especially because they took away their unlimited wild shape, which is criminal. It's actually like war crime tier. Nah. Let's get into it. There we go. I had to clear my throat, sorry. Discord notifications be good. Thank God. Alright, so let's read the rest of the class, because if I had to judge it based on what I see right here, it's absolutely awful. Okay. Like I said, I'm just gonna assume all these spell slots and all these things are the same. Primal order. I think we've already looked at these, but magician and warden are your choices. And again, it's the same thing of, do you want to focus on being more of a magical caster or being more of a martial character? You said they took away druid proficiencies. I remember you saying that yesterday. The thing is, though, I think, wasn't it a thing? Let's go back to the other ones. I thought it was a thing that your proficiencies now are also supposed to come from your... Oh, no. They took away, like, race things and put them more towards your background, I believe. Because, like, what proficiencies... Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Forgive me. I was not quick enough to see the name. But thank you so much. Happy to have you here. Okay, yeah. Gain the barbarian's first level features. Wait. Did they take them away for all classes, though? Because I don't even see it here. Yeah, I think this might have been something for everything, nothing, right? It'll be all the way down here, maybe? No. I have no clue. If we notice it being a pattern, we will be able to see that. It's possibly universally all across the board. But back to the druid. Okay, so wild shape, they made it a bonus action for everybody. So you don't have to be Circle of the Moon. As far as swim speed and fly speed, this is all the same. Oh, no, actually you can turn into anything with a swim speed now. That's actually very important. The name is Guru Grace 1. Guru Grace 1, happy to have you here. Welcome. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so when you wild shape, you get a temporary HP equal to your druid level. This is all the same. No spell casting. This is the same thing. Okay. You can summon a nature spirit that assumes an animal form eats you. Okay, so this was an optional class feature in 5.0. Kind of cool for them to put it as a baseline thing. Pretty much you can use your wild shape to get a find familiar. ASI's Wild Resurgence. Once on each of your turns, if you have no use of Wild Shape left, you can give yourself one by expending a spell slot. In addition, when you expend a use of Wild Shape to give yourself a level 1 spell slot, you can't do so again when you finish a long rest. Okay, so you can also do the reverse to give yourself a spell slot. Not bad. Alright, here we get a choice that comes through. So, upon spellcasting, add wisdom to your damage. Primal Strike. Once on each of your turns when you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon or your beast form's attack in Wild Shape, and cause the target to take an extra 1d8 cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. This is really cool thematically, just to kind of like, you know, you turn into a bear, and all of a sudden you put your paw on fire and go crazy. That is really cool. Damage is also not bad at all. That's actually really good. 1d8. Okay. Upon spellcasting, when you cast a druid cantrip in 10 feet or greater, the spell range is increased by 300 feet. I'll be honest, I've never really had a situation where this was really needed, unless people were in cities for like range going up by 300 feet, but I mean, I guess it's nice that it's there. I don't think that's really a strong feature though. But the extra damage of your Primal Strike going to 2d8, that's pretty good. Okay. Beast Shape. When using Wild Shape, you can cast spells in beast form, except for any spells that has a material component with a cost specified or that consumes its material component. Okay, so eventually you just get to do this. This was also the Circle of the Moon thing, so it feels like they kind of took away all the... They essentially grabbed all the Circle of the Moon stuff and put it to baseline Druid. So we're going to look at what Circle of the Moon at least does because of that and see what goes on. And level 20 is your Archdruid. Whenever you roll initiative and you have no uses of Wild Shape left, you get 1 use back. You can convert uses of Wild Shape into a spell slot. Choose a number of your unexpended uses of Wild Shape. Convert them into a single spell slot, with each use contributing to spell levels. This is not good. The fact that both of them go up to a 4th level spell slot, it's supposed to be a level 20 feature. This doesn't look good at all. Longevity, the primal magic that you wield causes you to age more slowly for every 10 years that pass here. This is already a thing, but I believe they just changed the level. Yeah, because you get it at level 18 in the other one. Okay. I'm very curious what Circle of the Moon does now. So, get some spells. The maximum challenge rating for the form equals your druid level divided by 3 rounded down. I believe that was already what they did. I wish that was not the case though. I wish you can turn it into like at the max 10th level. Like if Circle of the Moon did it half your level, that'd be really, really dope. Yeah, challenge rating divided by 3 rounded down. So that's the same. Getting a number of temporary HP equal to 3 times your druid level. This is kind of nice. Each of your attacks in Wild Shape form deal its normal type damage or radiant damage. You make this choice each time you hit with those attacks. Okay. So you can magically teleport yourself, reappearing amid a burst of moonlight. Okay, so bonus action, teleports at 30 feet. And you have advantage on the next attack roll you make before the end of the turn. But how long can you do this for? Or rather, how many times? Yeah, I guess you could just do this an unlimited number of times. No, I was trolling. I should have just kept reading. I should have just kept reading. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. Get it all back on a long rest. You can also regain uses by expending a 2nd level spell slot. The power of the moon. So once per turn, you deal an extra 2d10 radiant damage to the target you hit. And then when you use Moonlight Step, you can teleport 1 other person with you. Yeah, I don't think this is crazy good. The part that I probably like the most about this is, one, the temporary HP buff is pretty insane, but it does mean that you're kind of want to be more tanky. I think it's supposed to make up for the fact that you don't have unlimited wild shapes. So theoretically, if you're level 20 and you don't have those wild shapes again, to just keep turning into animals to stay alive, each time you do it, right, you'll churn it, you'll get like 60 extra health. 60 extra health. Man, I'm recovering from my sickness, so my words are a little sluggish, but overall though, I think the unlimited wild shapes at 20 were just more fun for roleplay than it was power, but it also allowed the druid to kind of be unkillable for a very long time. Yeah, I think you were spot on with this. Nothing. It's pretty much around B to C tier. It's low B, high C for sure. More question is deciding where we want to put it on exactly. If I went Circle of the Moon, I'd be pretty satisfied with this for the most part. Mainly because the temporary HP, again, is probably the biggest thing. But just looking at the core class itself, which is what we have to judge it on. It's not bad. I think overall they went into more roleplay stuff. It needed to be removed. The unlimited wild shape, you mean? Yeah. I thought it was fine because you got it at level 20 specifically. And I think at level 20, you're kind of near the end. You pretty much are at the end of the game. So it is kind of a moment to let players go, kind of have their power fantasy. I don't like Nature Man anyways. we gotta rate them fairly. I didn't like Bard, but I had to stick with Bard. All right, right now, I think we're gonna put this low B. I think the roleplay factor of the stuff you get is relatively good. Especially like if someone new is trying to play Druid, right? Now you can summon a pet with you using one of your wild shapes. You do it as a bonus action. You can put some like elements on your weapon or your claws and stuff. It can be cool. It can be fun. All right, let's jump to the next one. Next we got Fighter, which I've heard very good things about, but will not let that. Still mad that RD never got anything. Yeah, I don't know what it is. For some reason, they just really don't like Artificer. They have them in jail. All right. Oh, okay. I think I see what you're talking about. Now that I see these, this is where they're at. So proficiencies right here, you can choose 2 skills. Yeah, I mean, you could still choose 2 skill proficiencies with Druid. So let me know if you were talking about something else, but let's get into Fighter. All right. Classophobic. We have an objective here to be as neutral as possible when we pass judgment. However, I think we can all agree what they did to Artificer is a war crime. They left them behind in 5.0. They're sailing this ship without him. It's tragic. Now, let's get into it. Okay, so fighting style. Hone your martial prowess and gain a fighting style of your choice. Okay, this is clearly going to give us a list later. So, second win. You have a limited well of physical and mental stamina that you can draw on. As a bonus action, you can use it to regain HP equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level. You can use it twice. and you get one back on a short rest, but you get them all back on a long rest. When you reach certain fighter levels, you gain more uses of this feature, as shown in the second win column of the fighter's feature table. All right, that's pretty much the same. Weapon mastery. Your training with weapons allows you to use the mastery property of 3 kinds of simple or martial weapons of your choice. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can practice weapon drills and change one of those weapon choices. This, I think, is one of the best things they've done in the change. We saw it for Barbarian too, but I especially like the idea for fighter to be trained in multiple uses of weapons, and the idea that, like, if you wanted to change it on a long rest, you pick up that weapon and practice with it. It's really cool. It also gives them something to do in downtime, because anytime it's like, hey, you guys are going to sleep for the night, what do you guys want to do? And the wizard's like, hey, I can easily open my spell book and start, you know, researching the next spells I'm going to take and studying and learn. For fighters, right, I've always had players that are like, hey, I'm just going to go swing my sword at a tree and practice. But now there's an actual gameplay reason for that. Action surge. You can push yourself beyond your normal limits for a moment. On your turn, you can take one additional action, except the magic action. But the magic action is a new one. Let's go see what it is exactly. Somewhere around here, probably. Nope, unless I missed it. There we go, magic action. When you take the magic action, you cast a spell that has a casting time of an action, or use a feature or magic item that requires a magic action to be activated. Okay, yeah, this is just the same thing. So it's pretty much just saying that you can't cast spells with action surge, which I believe was not a ruling in 5.0. Yeah, you get one additional action. This is mainly a nerf if you're an Eldritch Knight. We can look at Eldritch Knight after all of this to see if they get anything to compensate for that. But that was kind of the cool part about Eldritch Knight, was that if you action surge, you can cast one of your spells and also do your attacks. So we'll see how that goes. All right, Tactical Mind. This is pretty much what I've been waiting for, what I've heard about. This is probably going to be the best feature about it. No, wait. Did you always get action surge back on a short rest? Oh, yeah, you did. Okay, never mind. All right, Tactical Mind. So when you fail an ability check, you can expend one of your second wins to add a 1d10 to the number rolled. But the cool part about this is that if you fail the roll, your use of second wind isn't expended. So you can pretty much use this without fear of, if this doesn't succeed the roll, I lose the slot, like you would with a Bardic Inspiration roll. This is really cool for the point that you can use this with any ability. So it allows fighters to be persuasive if they want it to be, more intimidating, more perceptive, and kind of focus their mind in on that. I really like this mechanic. It's nice and simple, but it opens the door to so many things. All right, ESIs, you get the most in the game. You attack twice as your extra attack. Tactical Shift, when you activate your second win with a bonus action, you can move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. That's actually really nice. Tactical Master, when you attack with a weapon whose mastery property you can use, you can replace that property with a push, sap, or slow property for that attack. We can figure what push is. Sap. If you hit a creature with this weapon, the creature has disadvantage on the next attack roll before the start of your next turn. We can figure what slow is. Sap is a little bit of a hot topic. because there's a lot of people who I've seen that think this is very broken. I have not seen it played enough, or have seen it played in general, to see if it is an issue. I think one important thing to highlight is it's the next attack roll and not the attack action. So it's just for the first attack. So if they theoretically have like 3 attacks, the first one is on disadvantage and then the next 2 are just normal. Because of that, I don't think it's entirely a bad idea. The only thing is, I don't know if there is a limit to how many times you can use these. So if it's unlimited, then I can see that maybe being annoying. But in the degree of things that are very powerful in D&D, this is not the immediate issue. Indomitable. If you fail a saving throw, you can re-roll it with a bonus equal to your fighter level. You must use a new roll. Okay. This is the same. I'm wondering though. Was Tactical Mind a reaction? It's not. So you could theoretically stack Indomitable and Tactical Mind together, which kind of make it really nice. Especially if a fighter really wants to save or succeed on a saving throw. I think we've all been in that situation where you fail a saving throw and then your character is just grappled or incapacitated for the next 5 turns, and that fight is just boring and it sucks. No. Studied attack. You study your opponents and learn from each attack you make. You make an attack roll against a creature and miss. You have an advantage on your next attack roll against that creature before the end of their next turn. Let me think about this. What level did they get it? I don't even see it. Oh, here it is. Level 13. Okay. Again, no limit on this. I'm okay with it. Honestly. There's already so many things that give you advantage in the game. I'm actually completely fine with this. Yeah. I actually don't have an issue with this. This is really good. I like it. Epic boon, same thing. 3 extra attacks. Okay. The next thing to look at, one, we can dip down to Eldritch Knight and skim this. I wonder if they've done anything for... When you take the attack action, you can place one of those attacks, casting a cantrip that has a casting time of an action. This is good. This is way better than what it was before. In that case, it's fixed. This is pretty much what Bladesingers do, and there's a reason why Bladesinger is very strong. This is really cool to do. So I'm glad they did that. And then with this one, when you take the attack action, you can place 2 of the attacks with a casting of one of your level 1 or level 2 wizard spells that has a casting time of an action. Do they specifically say... Okay, yeah, they specifically say wizard cantrips. I'm curious if it says the same thing for Bladesingers. 1 second. A little bit of a detour. The reason why is because... Yeah, okay, so they did not say this for Bladesingers, right? And a big issue is that if someone took Eldritch Blast with one of the feats, this was insanely powerful. Because Eldritch Blast scales with your level, not your Warlock level. I'm like 99% sure. Let's go find out. Eldritch Blast, man. Come on. I think people are gonna look up other stuff. Spell creates 2 beams at level 5. Yeah, okay, so this does not say your Warlock level. It just says your level. So theoretically, if you had Eldritch Blast, you would hit with your sword and then cast Eldritch Blast as one of your additional attacks and do just a bunch of damage. It's crazy. Okay. What did I want to look at again? It was It was like the properties. Here they are. No, wait, this is... Am I stupid? What am I missing? I think the fighting styles is somewhere else, probably a different list. Unless, did they say maneuvers? Use the mastery properties. Yeah, I assume this is something else. As shown in the weapon mastery column of the fighter feature table. Do we even see a table here? No. Alright, it's somewhere else. We're gonna have to look at it later. All cantrips scaled with level. Yes, they are. But Eldritch Blast is by far the strongest of the cantrips. Okay, so in that case, I think we can all agree. Fighter just goes to S tier. They got nothing but buffs. They didn't get any drawbacks to them. The only thing that looked like it might have been a nerf was that you can't cast the spell, or rather use the magic action when you action surge, but that's completely fine because Eldritch Knight has been slightly reworked to compensate for that. So yeah, this is just all around a great addition to be a fighter. Oh, let's go to the next one. It's time for the monkey. Chat, has anyone actually played 5.5 yet? Martial arts. All right. Monk is one of the most loaded classes in the game, so there's going to be a lot of probably back and forth that we're going to have to see. So first of all, not me, too hard to learn. I'm mainly looking at the class changes first. Gonna look at all the gameplay and ruling changes another stream, but yeah, I'm curious to see if people have played it yet and seen these changes on the game. At the table, as they say. Okay, so get these bonuses while you're unarmed or wielding only monk weapons and aren't wearing armor or a shield. You can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action. I think this is already super good. Martial arts dice, place a d6. This is already what it was supposed to be. I can use Dex mod instead of your strength for the attack and damage rolls of your unarmed strikes and monk weapons. Cool. So this just allows you to be more dex based. While you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, your base armor class equals 10 plus your dex plus your wisdom. Okay. I really like the idea. I've always wanted the idea of like a strength based brawler instead of a dex based one. And I always wished that for monks, they would allow you to do dex or strength plus your wisdom, so you could do that. But I guess with barbarian now, they gave you buffs to just punching while raging, so you can kind of do that now, which is acceptable, but I do wish they would do that. Give that option. All right. Flurry blow, same thing. Patient defense. This is the same thing. Step of the wind. Yep. Yeah, these are all the same. Unarmored movement, same thing. Uncanny metabolism. When you roll initiative, you get all expended focus points. When you do so, roll your martial arts dice and regain a number of HP equal to your monk level plus that number rolled. That is new. Am I trolling? What are focus points? Is that just your key? Allows you to harness a well of extraordinary energy within yourself. The energy is represented by focus points. Yeah, guys, they took away your key. It's just focus points now. Think of what they robbed you. I'm curious what that change was for. Key sounded cool. Okay, so yeah, they're called focus points. Yeah, if I use that, now you know what it's talking about. Deflect attacks. When attack roll hits you and its damage includes bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, you can take a reaction to reduce the attack total damage against you. It's 1d10 plus your dex modifier and monk level. If you reduce it to 0, you can expend 1 focus point to redirect some of the attack force. If you do so, choose a creature within 5 feet. If it was melee, okay, so it has to be a melee attack or within 60 feet, and it isn't beyond total cover. They need to make a dex saving throw or take damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts dice plus your dex modifier. This is really good for what they did. It used to only be a range thing, and it also only used to be that they just take the damage that was shot at them. Yeah, from what I know. Or it was just that one weapon. Point is, they buffed the damage on it. Made it more reliable. Yeah, it's good. Slow fall. This is pretty sure they already had that. Yep. Extra attack, stunning strike. This is the bane of every DM's existence. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a monk weapon or an unarmed strike, spend 1 focus point to attempt the stunning strike. They make a con save. If they fail, they're stunned until the next turn. On a successful save, the target speed is halved until their start of the next turn. And the next attack roll made against the target before then has advantage. Pretty sure that is new. Yeah, that is absolutely new. So regardless, you're going to slow their movement speed by half and make the next attack have advantage. Super strong. It's kind of what the very powerful thing about Guiding Bolt was too. So super huge dub there. When you deal damage with your unarmed strikes, it can deal your choice of force damage or its normal damage. Force damage is really, really nice because theoretically, if you have a totem bear barbarian, that reduces all damage except... Oh wait, no, sorry. It's just psychic damage, not force damage. But yeah, cool flavor, I guess. A normal raging barbarian can, I think you can supersede their resistance with the force damage. I think this is their way of just making it that your attacks are magical, is what they're... Because I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, your strike is kind of magical. Evasion, same thing. Make a dex roll. Take half the damage if you failed it, or no damage if you succeed. When you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you get the ability to move along vertical surfaces and across liquids on your turn without falling during the movement. Your flurry blows, patient defense, and step of the wind gain the following benefits. Spend 1 focus point to use flurry of blows and make 3 unarmed strikes with it instead of 2. That's really cool. I don't know if they already had that. They did not, so that's super dope. You gain a number of temporary HP equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts dice. Or you can choose a willing creature within 5 feet of you that is large or small, and move the creature with you until the end of your turn. And it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. This is actually really insane. These buffs in itself are crazy good. Self-restoration. Through sheer force of will, you can remove one of the following conditions from yourself at the end of each of your turns. Charm, frighten, or poison. Foregoing food and drink doesn't give you levels of exhaustion. This is, I think, a really cool thing that monks don't have to eat. I always like that idea. All right. You can now use the deflect attack features against attacks that deal any damage type, not just bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. Theoretically, the damage would never be there, but I mean, yeah, 1d10 dex plus monk. Yeah, I mean, you could do some cool stuff if like someone throws a scythe at you or something and you throw it back. That'd be dope. So far, though, it's been big dubs for monks. I would be so happy if I was a monk. All right. So, Discipline Survivor. Your physical and mental discipline grants you proficiency in all saving throws. Additionally, when you make a saving throw and fail, you can expend 1 focus point to re-roll it and must use the new roll. Is that new? It's not. They already had that with this Diamond Soul feature. Something that we can make note of is they got rid of Tongue of Sun and Moon, and I am actually really happy they took this away. I love monks to death, but it made no sense that they can just understand all spoken languages, like as a baseline feature for monk. I think if it was something given to like Astral Self or Cobalt Soul or this Way of the Prophet thing, that'd be more appropriate. But it just made no sense that any monk just can understand any language ever spoken. I'm super glad they got rid of that, actually. Okay. Perfect focus. When you roll initiative and don't use uncanny metabolism, you gain all expended focus points until you have 4. If you have 3 or fewer. Okay, it just takes you back up to 4 is what it's saying. At the start of your turn, you can spend 3 focus points to bolster yourself against harm for 1 minute, or until you're incapacitated. During that time, you have resistance to all damage except force damage. Pretty powerful. I don't think they had this. They did not. They just had the ability to go invisible. Body and mind. You have developed your body and mind to new heights. Your dexterity and wisdom score increased by 4 to a maximum of 25. I believe this was already... It was not a thing. Never mind. I take that back. Okay, they grabbed that level 20 ability they had, Perfect Self, and they threw it with Perfect Focus a little earlier, and they reworked this 20 to do that. I am 100% okay with this. I've already did this for another monk that I had to get to level 20. That thematically, if any class is supposed to have the highest wisdom, it's supposed to be a monk. The same way as we all think that the highest strength should go to a barbarian. And because of that, you know, they get that bonus that brings them up to like 24. I'm a big fan of this. That being said, I have not seen a single nerf other than the language thing that I personally observed, and I 100% agree with that one. So to me, monks go to S tier as well. I would say, I think they're eating better than fighters, honestly. But if I had to say, the buffs for monks is better than the buffs for fighters. I guess the decision is, do we think that it's better than cleric buffs? Key points. Key points got renamed to focus points. They didn't get rid of it. They call it focus points, which low-key, I mean, I'll be honest, if I had to choose, key points sounded way cooler. If I went off naming alone, I'd throw this in D tier, but, you know, whatever, they want to call it focus points, sure. We'll throw it up there. All right. Yeah, I'm now tempted to make a monk. That sounds very fun to play. Oh, all right. Paladin. I'm gonna need your guys' help on Paladin. This is where you come in, chat, because Paladin is my favorite class in the game. I'm very biased. I'm going to be very heated on some changes with Paladin, depending on what we see, or I'm going to be very excited. So I'm gonna need you guys to kind of balance me out here. It's an A because the name sucks. You know, it doesn't necessarily suck. It's more of what they took away from them. But yeah, if we scaled it on naming alone, it would definitely go down. All right. If you guys see me be biased here at all, call me out on it, and you guys hold me accountable. Here we go. Paladins, lay on hands. Your blessed touch can heal wounds. You have a pool of healing power. 5 times your paladin level. This is the same as a bonus action. This is new. This is usually an action. As a bonus action, you can touch a creature, which could be yourself, and draw from that pool of healing and restore a number of hit points of the creature up to the maximum amount of the pool. Also expend 5 hit points to remove the poison condition from the creature, but they don't heal. Okay, I believe lay on hands removed any you can cure 1 disease or neutralize 1 poison affecting it. Okay, so they took away the disease part, but they kept the poison. Am I okay with this? We'll have to see. If paladins are still immune to diseases from like divine health or something, if they still have this, I'm completely cool with it, because it just means that you can't remove diseases from other players. But if they took away this, and they also took it away from lay on hands, then they really made paladins susceptible to diseases, which I feel like was one of the cool things about paladins, is that they were immune to them. All right, let's go into it. Spellcasting, like I said, I'm just gonna assume they're the same. If anybody knows that they're different, please let me know. But other than that, gonna assume that they did not change that system. Who actually used diseases in D&D though? My group of players, or rather my old DM, did a lot and hated the fact that I was a paladin in that campaign. So then he homebrewed some special diseases that can supersede that feature, which was a bit of a heated moment, because there was another paladin in that group too, and he hated the fact that that was the case. Sorry, drinking water. But you know, some people are cool with that, some people hate it. Fighting style, options, bloods, the same things. Hold up. Paladin Smite. You always have the Divine Smite spell prepared. Who the hell made this a spell? This is supposed to be a feature. This is a spell now? And it cost a bonus action? Who did this? The damage isn't even buffed. I need to know. I need a name. Oh, man. Oh, God. All right. Couple issues here. One, if the spell, it could theoretically be countered spelled. It is also a bonus action instead of a free action for you to do so. Which means you can only do it on 1 attack. And that also means you can't do it on your reaction. Because, you know, one of the cool things about Paladin was that if you get an attack of opportunity, and you can smite that one, make it do big damage. This is terrible in my book. Let's look at the rest. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to be very angry, but we will come back to it. Channel Divinity. My guess is because of the fighter thingy. What do you mean by the fighter thingy? the fighting styles, maybe. Bias though. All right, your channel divinity, divine sense. Okay, one of them is gonna be from your subclass, I believe. So as a bonus action, you can open your awareness to detect celestial fiends and undead. This is divine sense. Same thing. Okay. Extra attack at 5th level, Faithful Steed. You always have the Find Steed spell prepared. This is kind of nice, actually. It's a nice little thing. Action Surge. I'm still confused. What are you connecting Action Surge to with the smite? Unless you're talking about something else. Aura of Protection. You radiate your aura. Your new allies get bonus saving throws equal to your charisma modifier. If another paladin is present, creature can only benefit from one aura of protection at a time. Yeah, this used to stack, and it used to be very funny. At least in 5th edition, I believe it still stacks. Yeah, so aura of protection stacked, which really made it funny if you had like 4 paladins, all with max charisma. And that part was really nice. So I think they nerfed it for that reason. Fun fact, very, very early in D&D, there's a very broken build you can do with your party. If everybody went Oathbreaker, you got Aura of Hate. And what it did was, if you guys fill these conditions, right, you get a bonus to melee weapon damage equal to the charisma modifier. But they have since put this ruling, this did not exist back then, that a creature can benefit from only 1 paladin at a time. So you used to just have 4 paladins that were all Oathbreakers, all undead or fiends in some way. And then essentially anytime someone hits, they would get like a +20 modifier to their damage. It was very quickly fixed. Action Surge Smite. Action Surge interaction with the magic action, which Smite now is. Yeah, but the idea is that they grabbed, so Divine Smite is Paladin's main bread and butter. It's what separates the class from everything else. So they grabbed the feature, they grabbed what was a feature, they turned it into a spell and put it as a bonus action to cast it. So are you guys talking about in the event that like a fighter multi-classes to Paladin? Let's continue on. Abjure foes. As a magic action, expend 1 use of your class's channel divinity to overwhelm foes with awe. Present your holy symbol, target a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier within 60 feet. They need to make a wisdom saving throw or be frightened for 1 minute or until they take damage. While fighting this way, a target can only do one of the following on its turns: move, take an action, or take a bonus action. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. I mean, it's like if a fighter multi-classed into Paladin, they're not going to have too many spell slots, so that's kind of the balance in itself. Would they normally cast Smite with their attacks? Yeah, but not to an insane degree. Aura of Courage. You and your allies have immunity to the frying condition while you're in your aura of protection. If a frightened ally enters the aura, the condition has no effect on that ally while there. This is really good. I always thought that paladins should have immunities to fears and being frightened, and eventually they did it for the paladin specifically. But it was like way later that you got it. Right? Right? Maybe not. Maybe it's something. Oh, okay, wait, no, it was already a thing. Man, what am I getting confused with that? mean, I guess it just went from 10 feet to 30 feet, so. Nope, still 10 feet. Yeah, okay. Radiant strikes. Your strikes now carry supernatural power when you hit with an attack roll. Target takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage. And that is the same. When you use lay on hands on a creature, you can also remove one of the following conditions from the creature: blind, charmed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, or stunned. I'm okay with this. Putting it later on the levels makes more sense. It's fine. Works out pretty good. Your protection is now 30 feet. And you get an extra boon. Did they take away, or I guess it was always a subclass feature at 20, right? When you turn into something. Yeah, it was. So that part's fine. All right. So pretty much overall, they got a buff to lay on hands, but they got a huge debuff to divine smite. And I think you can pretty much do anything with a paladin other than ruin divine smite. It's not nerfed in terms of the individual damage of divine smite, but the amount of times you can divine smite has been nerfed. Your opportunity to do so, and also your it can be counterspelled now. So overall, which also, yes, actually a good point. What components is it? Just verbal? This also sucks because if you're in a silence, you cannot cast it at all. Let's see what the comments are. Not sure what the 1 minute duration is about here. I don't see a 1 minute duration. This is the worst decision made in 2024 edition. Paladin Spike can now be counterspelled. Yep, I said it. I said it. Which flies in the face of making lay on hands a bonus action as well. Another 5-head decision from you. Great that I can just ignore this and run smite as normal because you can't stop me from doing that. This guy is very angry, but he is correct still. Don't need to get too mad to insult them, but also I need to know who made this change. Who was in charge here? I'd like to have a conversation. I just want to talk. You haven't checked out 2024 Ranger then? I'm gonna be honest, guys. Ranger was already just low bottom. I can't believe it could be any worse. I can't believe that. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. Paladin is my favorite class, but Divine Smite is Paladin's most powerful feature. It's been heavily nerfed, can be counteracted by a spellcaster, which was already kind of something that Paladins were meant to counteract. And so overall, I think this change puts it high D, low C. They did get buffed with lay on hands, but not to a tremendous amount, especially because your lay on hands and your divine smite are going to take up the same action economy, which is your bonus action. So you have to choose between them now. You can't. Which it was already the case with 5th edition, but Divine Smite was still super strong in 5th edition. So overall, this kind of just keeps the status quo while also nerfing your Divine Smite. I think it goes to D tier. And it breaks my heart that that's the case, because it's my favorite class. But as a DM, you are free to say, yeah, I'm gonna ignore those rules and do it my way, which, you know, I will absolutely do that. I like the idea of turning lay on hands into a bonus action. I feel like that's appropriate. I'm also okay with it just removing poisons at the beginning and then later on leveling up to remove more stuff. This is really cool. It also puts a difference between kind of like a high level paladin giving you lay on hands versus a low level one. For example, if one of your party members is affected by one of these conditions and they go to a chapel, they can find a high level paladin who can, you know, remove them of one of these things. If it stays for that long. But everything else kind of doo-doo. Also, yeah, your aura did get nerfed. That's another thing. You can only benefit from one paladin's aura of protection instead of multiple. So, but maybe you guys are different. If you really like that you always have fine steed and that was your red line with paladin, well, I have good news for you. It's right there. But you can only cast it once without expending a spell slot. They didn't give you an unlimited amount. All right. I think we could wrap up paladin tragically, and we'll jump into ranger. All right. Ranger was already tragically to look at in 5th edition. So hopefully they fixed it. But if I know D&D's track record with Ranger, there is no fixing it. I think Gloomstalker is like the one very specific scenario where you can actually have a really good Ranger. Kind of a fun thing to play. But we'll see. Skill proficiencies, you choose 3, and most people choose 2. That's kind of cool. All right. Favorite enemy, you always have Hunter's Mark prepared. You can cast it twice without expending a spell slot, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This is good. What was their favorite enemy before? You have an advantage to track them. Yeah, this was, you know, having the Hunter's Mark is just more effective. Weapon mastery. This is the same thing that all martial-esque classes are getting. Deft explorer. Never seen that word. Deft. 1 second. I need to. There we go. All right. Okay. So, thanks to your travels, you get one of the following benefits. Oh, sorry. Wifty, welcome. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Negative aura? Yes, indeed. That's 100% what they got. Choose one of your skill proficiencies in which you lack expertise, and you get expertise in it, or you learn 2 languages of your choice. Okay, you get a fighting style, ranger subclass, you can attack twice. Roving. Speed's increased by 10 feet when you aren't wearing heavy armor. You can also have a climb and swim speed equal to your speed. Is that something they already had? Because the climb speed sounds like a very good idea. Yeah, it looks like that's a new thing, and I'm glad they kind of put that. You'll naturally get 2 expertise as you level up. Tireless Primal Focus now helps you fuel you on your journeys. You get the following benefits. As a magic action, you can give yourself a number of temporary HP equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. You can use this action a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. How long? Okay. It was there before. Got it. In that case, nothing changed there. I know they have a rule with temporary HP, right? It doesn't stack, I believe. What if I just hover over it? I believe it should tell me. Yeah, here we go. Temporary HPs don't stack. They can't be added together. If you have temporary HP and receive more of them, you decide which one to keep. Yeah, then in that case, I don't know if this is really that good. Let's recraft. You spend an action to get 1d8, so it's a maximum of 13 temporary HP. Super good at low level, but you get tireless at 10th level. 13 health really doesn't matter a crazy amount. If this theoretically stacked, this could be kind of cool before a fight. You just buff yourself up with a bunch of temporary HP. But yeah, it was optional for the death. Oh, okay, got it. I have, since the optional class features have come out, I have not had a single player play Ranger. It's a very, very tragic thing. Relentless Hunter. Taking damage can't break your concentration on Hunter's Mark. Oh yeah, I guess it would technically, since that's a spell. And it's concentration. That's crazy. That's cool. You invoke spirits of nature to magically hide yourself. As a bonus action, you can grant yourself the invisible condition until the end of your next turn. You can do this a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. I believe they already had this somewhere. Yeah, hide in plain sight. You can spend 1 minute creating a camouflage. So it used to just give you a +10 bonus, but yeah, going actually invisible, that's cool. I do. Okay, so this is good gameplay wise, but I don't know if I like it thematically because I don't like this thing where D&D has started taking class features and turning them into magical effects. Like, I like the idea in the description here where it says like you're spending a minute camouflaging yourself, right? Using mud and grass and leaves and, you know, bark and all this stuff. Thematically, that was super cool for a ranger. It's like moments for them to use nature and hide themselves in. But now it's like, hey, you have magic abilities and it lets you just go invisible. There, we're done. Obviously, gameplay wise, it's better to be invisible than camouflage, but thematically, like, that was the cooler part. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, or if you think I'm just blabbering on. Well, Nature Man 2 sucks. Not only he is nature, but he is not good at anything except puppy guarding his helm. I assume by Nature Man you mean the ranger. Let's see what else there is. You have advantage on attack rolls against the creature currently marked by your hunter's mark. That's good. Your connection to the forces of nature grant you blind sight within 30 feet. That is also really cool. Get an extra boon. The damage dice of your hunter's mark is a d10. Are we serious? I've said this before. Like, we're level 20. What is the damage of 4 going to do when you're fighting things at level 20? Like, how is Hunter's Mark not buffed up to like 3d10 or something that is very nice? Because you look at like, okay, look at a barbarian, right? When you look at their brutal critical, where's their brutal critical? Did I miss that they got rid of brutal critical? Is that a thing? Wait, they totally did. This changes barbarian. Yeah, it's a brutal strike now. They get an extra d10. Oh, wait, no, okay. It increases to do 2d10 anyways. And this is just more reliably than getting it on a crit. Okay, but this is what I mean, right? You eventually get an extra 2d10, which means it's an extra 3d10 on your hit. Like, that has some oomph, some power to the strike. Where is the power here when it's just a d10 rather than a d6? This is a slap to the face. It was a slap to the face back then. And we're in 2024 now, and they still made the same decision. This frustrates me. This is terrible. And even, okay, so like, I think the bigger issue too with Ranger is a lot of people, when I've said that Ranger is underwhelming, they'll bring up a bunch of numbers of how they did this much damage in this specific situation, all that stuff. But the main thing is that Ranger is underwhelming in the sense of what you can do. Like, when you have a wizard shooting lightning spells, you have a barbarian getting big and swinging their axe, paladin who's smiting, a cleric who's summoning celestials, and you're playing a ranger, it feels underwhelming when you see everybody else do those things, and you're like, I shoot my bow, but my bow goes a little bit harder, I guess. Does 4 extra damage. So yeah. Overall though, the blind sight is a very nice buff. I don't believe they had that. I mean, you were aware of invisible creatures, but blind sight can do some other cool stuff. It's just a little underwhelming still. I'm gonna say this is kind of a C tier. I think it's like, okay, we put the hierarchy of our tier list based on like, did they get buffs, did they get nerfs? But I think for Ranger, the lack of buffs was a huge nerf. Like, they really needed them and they didn't get them, which puts it on a downside. It's a net negative. He's just nature, man. Nature sucks. Well, it's like, I mean, it's definitely true that back in the day, it felt like D&D was more about terrain, and that played a more important role of like being in the wilderness and having a ranger guide you can do these things. But D&D has kind of adapted and evolved into different things, right? Sometimes you spend it like 5 sessions in a city, 2 of those in a tavern. It's like a ranger gets no points on that. A tier, only buffs, but not good buffs. But like I was saying, I think the lack of buffs that were needed were kind of debuffs. Well, why is Paladin so low now? It's mainly because they grabbed their Divine Smite. They turned it into a bonus action, and they also made it a spell. So the 2 main things about that is that 1, it can be counterspelled. And 2, because it's a bonus action, you can only cast it once on your turn, and you cannot cast it when you do it's like before Paladin, if they had an attack of opportunity as a reaction, they can hit it and cast Divine Smite on their 1 weapon attack, but it made it hit really hard. But you can't do that anymore because you need a bonus action. So taking away Paladin's main bread and butter is what put them at the lowest. And Paladin is my favorite class in the game. It completely breaks my heart to put it all the way down there. But that is the situation. Basically, Midnight is salty that his favorite class got a tiny nerf. It's not a tiny nerf, it's a huge nerf. You're trolling. It is massive. Okay, there used to be like kind of somewhat a trinity, right? Fighters were really, really strong, but they can easily be countered by spellcasters. But spellcasters were very scared of paladins. And you know, paladins could be kind of scared of fighters depending on the situation. But the point was that you had this nice balance, but now they allowed mages to essentially be able to fight paladins pretty easily. I see that checks out. No, they made it counterable in a bonus action. Yeah. This is why I've always preferred putting a limit on the number of full progression spellcasters. It gives the other classes a chance to breathe and or shine. Yes. Because if you think about the full casters, you have Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Wizard, and Warlock. It's a lot. It is definitely a lot. But yes, also another important thing with Divine Smite is now it is a verbal component, which means if a spellcaster casted Silence, a paladin cannot smite in that silence. All that being said, paladins did not get anything else to compensate for the damage that they're missing from smite. So it's going to feel pretty awful playing them in that rule set. In my opinion, it's a relatively needed nerf. The potential amount of burst damage that Paladin has was ridiculous. I could agree that at the very least, the idea of them smiting on a on an attack of opportunity could be huge burst damage. But the thing was that what the main limit was supposed to be with Divine Smite is that Paladins are half casters, and because of that, they don't have too many crazy spell slots. So either they're dumping it on their utility or they're dumping it on Divine Smite. And that was kind of their way to compete in damage. But Wizzies who dip a few levels into Pally can now do Mega Smite. Yeah, they did. I mean, this was a long time ago. You can only go up to like 5th level for Divine Smite. Oh, did they take that away? I guess they did take that away. So yeah, what's to stop then? Because okay, so pre-Paladin, where is it? Here we go. All right, this is important to bring up. Before with Divine Smite, it used to specifically say it's to a maximum of 5d8. So you can't exceed that threshold. But it looks like they removed that, which means it's actually really strong for you to be a wizard and take 1 point into like Paladin and then be able to smite at that insane level. Right? Does Divine Smite have any other? No, because now it's a spell. It's not a feature. Yeah, wait, this is crazy. Yeah, wait, hold up. So theoretically, a Bladesinger wizard who takes 1 point into Paladin can grab this spell and they can smite better than a Paladin can. This is terrible, guys. Who did this? Can I add another tier? Actual war crimes. That's where we're at right now. This frustrates me so much. Have you checked out the thief rework for rogues then? No, rogue is next up on the list. Wizards finally get Riz. Oh. Paladin became a multi-class best often. Yeah, what is this? Where was the logic in uncapping that smite power? Because at that point, it makes Bladesinger even stronger in that sense. Wait, especially because this is a bonus action too. So, okay, so in that case, man. Okay. There we go. Paladin's back to being busted tier. No, that's the issue, Aqua. It's not Paladin that's broken. It's like a full caster taking 1 point into Paladin to get this spell, and then they can smite way harder than a fully leveled Paladin can. Where's my drawing tool? Okay, so like theoretically, if you're a wizard, right, and you had this spell, and you are going to cast it at like, you know, let's say like 7th level, because now you can do that. And you get to do it as a bonus action. Theoretically, you're Bladesinger wizard, which means you can attack with your normal action, right? Or you get 2 attacks, right? But one of those attacks will be one of your cantrips, and one of those will be your normal hits, right? But as part of your bonus action, you can also drop a 7th level smite. and you calculate all that damage, that is going to be way more burst damage than Paladin was ever able to pump out. And they still get Lay on Hands as a bonus action as Wizzy. Yeah, but I think specifically Lay on Hands is based on your Paladin level, so they won't actually benefit from that one. Yeah, 5 times equal to your Paladin level. So, I mean, they can heal themselves for like 5 health or whatever they put in it. It's not a big deal. That's not of a big deal as this is. Essentially, they get to do 2 weapon attacks, and they usually cast like Booming Blade, Eldritch Smite. Yeah, especially, I think Eldritch Smite also. Oh, is Eldritch Smite a free one, or is it? Let's find out. So never mind the wizard. It's probably a warlock. Like a Hexblade warlock or Pack of the Blade. Where's the Eldritch Smite? I can't find it. Here it is. Once per hit, when you hit a creature, you can spend a warlock spell slot to do 1d8 of force damage, plus another d8 per spell level. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely the Eldritch Smite. Now even more damage, 2 in 1. Yeah, true. Wiz on its own is pretty OP. Paladin, even if it's 1 level dip, makes it busted. Wizard on its own can't reach that potential without Pally Smite. Or can it? Wizard on its own for damage. I mean, that was always kind of the thing, was that like magic damage, like damage from spells were always insanely higher than usually what martial classes can do, but the idea is that martial classes can crit, and if they crit, then they do a massive amount of damage. And that was also the fun part about Paladin, was that which also, yes, this is another nerf, by the way. Depending on how your DM rules it, the way Divine Smite worked was that because it was a feature that you can toggle whenever you hit, if you got a crit, right, you got the natural 20, you can apply the Divine Smite to that crit of your own free will when you wanted to do so. But now you could have your DM technically rule that you need your bonus action to do that, and you can't do it in the middle of your swing or attack or whatever, so you don't get to apply your Divine Smite to your crit whenever you see one. I don't know if that's what they intended it to be, but that is definitely how a DM could potentially rule it, is because it's a bonus action, you can't do it on as like a toggle thing. Yeah, Warlock with Eldritch Smite and Divine Smite. It's not a spell, so very lots of damage. Yes, because, I mean, this was already a thing. Was like a Hexblade Paladin kind of thing, those mixtures. But again, the limit was that Divine Smite can only go up to 5th level. So you couldn't use your Warlock spells for it, but now you can. And it's not a spell, so very lots of damage. For Eldritch Smite, yeah. Yeah, regardless, Warlocks and Wizards are going to have a great time with Divine Smite more than Paladins are. Which furthers my rage. You need to understand, it's not just that my favorite class got nerfed. It's not what pisses me off so much. It's that other people get to do what my favorite class does 10 times better than what I can do it. That hurts. That's a new level of low. I never thought I'd say the day where Rangers are probably going to have more fun than Paladins. 98s plus 5d8s plus weapon damage. Love that. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, we jump into Rogue next. Open up old Rogue to compare. One moment. There we go. All right. Now the Rogue. The Rogue. No worries. At least they didn't forget your favorite class. They absolutely did. Okay. I'm looking at old Rogue. There we go. 4 skill proficiencies. Insane. Expertise at the start. This is... Did they always get it at level 1? I believe they did. Yes, they did. Sneak attack. 1d6 to one creature with an attack roll if you have advantage. And the attack uses a finesse or ranged weapon. Did they have that restriction early on? Yes, they did. Oh, yeah. This is the same. Thieves can't. Weapon mastery, cunning action. Steady aim is a bonus action. You give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on the current turn, but your speed is 0. This was an optional feature that they put in. Glad they did that. Cunning strike. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can add one of the following cunning strike effects. Each effect has a die cost, which is the number of sneak attack damage dice you must forego to add the effect. You remove the dice before rolling. This is really cool. But let's see what they are. So poison, you can add a toxin to your strike. They make a con saving throw, or they are poisoned for 1 minute. And they make the saving throw. To use this effect, you must have the poisoner skin on your person. Trip, withdraw. Immediately after attack, you move half your speed without provoking opportunity attack. This is actually really cool. Kind of like this like little guerrilla tactic, stab and immediately move back, try to trip them or poison them. This is really cool. Adding it to a system where you remove your sneak attack damage dice is pretty good. Although it all says depending on the thing, but it's all 1 cost, so I assume later we'll have different ones. Uncanny dodge, you can use your reaction to have the attack damage. That's normal. Evasion, same as it was. Reliable talent, exact same as it was. Improved cunning strike, you can use up to 2 cunning strikes when you deal sneak attack damage. That's crazy. Practice new ways to use your sneak attack damage deviously. Now you have more options. Daze. They must make a con saving throw, or on its next turn, it can only do one of the following actions: move, take an action, or bonus action. Nothing if your 5d8 is the fiend damage. I think it's actually higher unless stream bitrate hid the new smite. Didn't seem to cap that extra damage. Smite does not cap its damage anymore, as it used to. Let's go check it out. Yes, there is nothing to cap it to 5th level. Did the old Thieves Can't come with an extra language too? The option to have utility is nice. It's a good question. Let's find out. No, it looks like it was just Thieves Can't. However, I like to also use that. I mean, it's a normal language in itself, like a spoken language too. All right, knockout. They must make a con saving throw, or it is unconscious for 1 minute or until it takes damage. This costs all of your sneak attack, and rightfully so. This is pretty OP. They get to repeat the saving throw on each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Obscure, make a dex saving throw or be blinded. Slippery mind, your cunning mind is exceptionally difficult to control. You gain proficiency in wisdom and charisma. No attack roll can have advantage against you unless you are incapacitated. Stroke of luck. If you fail a d20 test, you can turn the roll into a 20. You do this once per long rest, pretty much. Oh, wait a second, at 68, it uses 1 9th level slot and 5th level spell for Warlock, though. Okay, so Warlocks should theoretically have a 9th level and a 7th level from their, like, Mistrum Arcanum or whatever it's called. Let's just quickly get a sneak peek on Warlock to see if that's still the thing. Yeah, you're a Mystic Arcanum, 7th level spell, and a 9th level spell. So you can use the 9th level spell on Divine Smite, which would be 10 d8s. Because it's always 1d8 higher than what you cast it at. Oh, sorry, you have an 8th level too. So you can use your 8th level on Eldritch Smite, which will be 8 d8s. So you're theoretically doing 10 d8s plus 8 d8s plus your weapon damage. Do Hexblade Warlocks attack twice or just once? Actually, I'm not sure. I don't want to spoil too much here, but Pact of the Blade. I think they just attack once. Depends, they can do 2 times. Yes, here it is. You gain extra attack feature with your weapon. So then you can slap in... Actually, does Eldritch Smite only work once? That's the next question. Once per turn when you hit a creature. Yeah, okay. So you get another hit that does normal weapon damage. But you can only use Eldritch Smite once. But yes, theoretically for one single attack, you can do 10d8, which is a maximum of 80, with 8d8, which is a maximum of 64. That's a maximum possible of 144 damage, plus your weapon, which really is like just like a d8 or something. But you can do that in like a single hit. Very strong indeed. Let's go back to Rogue. Okay, Stroke of Luck. I like the Stroke of Luck. I always thought rogues need to play more into that luck sense, rather than just them kind of being assassins and thieves. You said something about thief changes, which we'll look at, but we are going to rate these based on their class changes and not the subclass changes. But I think overall, Rogue, solid A tier, right? I mean, they got nothing but buffs. Those buffs allow them to do extra stuff in combat, a lot of different options for them to kind of get creative with, and overall actually be really helpful to their team too. I think overall it's just a big dub for them. Let's look at Thief though. Fast hands, this is already what it was, but when you make a dex check to pick a lock, no, okay, so this is just fast hands. Gain the following benefits. You get a climbing speed equal to your speed, and you can determine your jump distance using your dex rather than your strength. Did they already have this? Climb faster than normal. Climbing no longer costs extra movement. This is already the same. Stealth attack. If you hide, if you have the hide actions. Okay, I assume what they're trying to say is that if you hide, you're invisible. This attack doesn't end condition on if you end the turn behind 3/4. What? This attack doesn't end that condition on you if you end the turn behind 3/4 of the cover. Got it. So you can be stealthy, jump out, stab someone, and go back to that place, and you're still invisible the whole time. That's kind of cool. That's really dope. Use magic device. You can attune up to 4 magic items at once. When you use a magic item property that expend charges, roll 1d6. On a 6, use the property without expending the charges. That's cool. Scrolls. You can use any spell scroll using intelligence as your spellcasting ability for that spell. They already have these. So being able to attune to 4 things is the new stuff for them, it looks like. You're adept at laying ambushes and quickly escaping danger. You can take 2 turns during the first round of any combat. Yeah, this is already the same. So I'm not really sure what the changes are, other than attuning to 4 things and being invisible, which are overall really good buffs. New wording of Rogue's Fast Hands. This means they can use a magic item such as Wand of Fireballs or Lightning. Did they not have that before with Fast Hands? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I guess Fast Hands now lets you use an object as a bonus action. That's kind of cool. All right. Rogue in A tier. Pretty good. Let's jump into the wizard. Depends, they can do 2 times. All right. The main were the attune and scrolls. Also, scrolls are supposed to be more prevalent in shops. I mean, thank God if they are, because I remember like our first DM that we played with played everything to the book of what D&D has made, and scrolls were just way too much gold. We never got a scroll like from a shop. So any features that were supposed to be compatible with scrolls were immediately, we found out, were kind of just underwhelming, underutilized. So I'm glad if they make scrolls more prevalent. That's a good thing. All right. Can't all of these again, I'm gonna assume they're the same. Arcane recovery, no more than half your wizard. This is the same, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Let me close these. Less than half your wizard level. Okay. Scholar. When studying magic, you also specialize in another field of study. Choose one of the following skills you have proficiency in. You have expertise in that chosen skill. Thank God they gave wizards expertise in one of these things. Now, I do think that D&D has been throwing expertise around in everything when it was supposed to be like a rogue / bard kind of unique thing. But I'm relatively okay with it going to like one thing for wizard for them to be really good at like investigation or arcana or something. Mainly like sometimes we've had situations where an arcane trickster got their expertise in arcana and rolls way higher than like a wizard can, which always made the wizard feel bad. And it's like, in fairness, the rogue chose to put their expertise in arcana, but it's like the wizard never got that choice in the first place, so they were just worse at it by default. Memorize spell. When you finish a short rest, you can set your spell book to replace one of your first level wizard spells you have prepared with another level 1 from your book. Okay. Spell mastery. Are these all the same? 18th level. God damn, wizards really don't get anything. I mean, it's all in their subclasses. Choose a level 1 or level 2 spell in your spell book. As a casting time of an action, you always have them prepared and cast with their lowest level without casting a spell slot. cast either spell at higher level, you must expend a spell slot. When you finish a long rest, you can study your spell book and place one of those spells with an eligible spell of the book. I like that you can switch it out, and I also like that there isn't a like limit on it because where was it? Oh, never mind. Okay, no, it's signature spell. Let's see if they changed it. Choose 2 level 3 spells in your spell book. You always have them prepared and can cast each of them once at 3rd level without expending a spell slot. When you do so, you can't cast them in this way until you finish a short long rest. Okay, guys, this should just be unlimited. They don't need to put a limit on it. You're level 20. I think it's fair that a level 20 wizard can choose 2 3rd level spells that they can just cast as much as they want. 5.3, 5.5 meta, Pally 1, Warlock 17, 2 Sorcerer. Oh, taking 1st level in Paladin, you mean? 2 levels in Warrior, or Warlock, sorry, and 2 levels in Sorcerer. Total of 10d8 plus 9d8 plus weapon damage. And then you twin spell the Eldritch Smite. 9th level spell slot, Divine Smite, Thirsting Blade. I think the issue though is I think you have to twin spell the Divine Smite, right? How does twin spell work? Let's look at the meta magics. This is not shown. There we go. Where are you at? Here you are. When you cast a spell that targets only one creature and doesn't have a range of self, you can expend a number of sorcery points. I don't know if this works for Smite because Smite doesn't target anyone. It's an effect that goes on your blade. Okay, but going back to Wizard, there's like 0 changes that I have noticed. This is the exact same thing. But I don't think anyone had a problem with Wizards, and you know, like people do say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, I mean, kind of just sits there in C tier. Literally no changes. And I guess we make a new special one. Forgotten About. And we just throw Artificer and Wizard there. They just, you know, there's nothing that changed them from 5th edition. Or Left Behind in 5th edition. There we go. All right, we have 2 more left. The Sorcerer and the Warlock. I totally jumped from Rogue to Wizard. I forgot about these 2. But it's fine. All right, Sorcerer. Wizzy is the same, yeah. Okay. As a bonus action, you can unleash that magic for 1 minute, which gives you the following benefits. Your spell save DC is increased by 1, and you have advantage on attack rolls of sorcerer spells you cast. This is already going pretty good. I always thought thematically sorcerers are more of like battle mages, like they should be better at combat, while wizards are better at utility. And I don't think D&D really focused on pushing sorcerers to that like natural destructive power too much. Poor Old Blood, no one liked it as it was homebrew. Oh, Blood Hunters, yes, I totally forgot about them. I love Blood Hunters, but yeah, they're not like official D&D material. And it was also made by Matt Mercer, so I don't know if D&D really has full authority to just grab Blood Hunter and put changes that they want. But I guess they do make subclasses for it, right? I don't think Matt Mercer is making every single one of those subclasses. So I don't know about the situation with Blood Hunter, but yeah, as Keith said, they are test material technically. All right. You use this feature twice and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Bonds of Magic, you tap into Wellspring of your magic, which is represented by your sorcery points. You have 2 sorcery points, you gain more as you reach higher levels, as shown in the sorcery table below. Expend a spell slot to gain a number of sorcery points equal to the slot's level. As a bonus action, you transform unexpended sorcery points into 1 spell slot. So you can see the cost right here. I'm pretty sure this is the same. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 5, 6, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this changes a little bit. Wait, now 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, I was looking at the sorcerer level. Sorcery point cost is the same. About 33 seconds of delay. Oh, sorry, I thought you were saying test as in like there's a test. They were test material. Keep in mind there is a 100% human delay, but oh, you should see the chat right here, so you can see it. I'm on about a lot of stuff. Meta magic. So this is the exact same. Sorcerer subclass, ability score improvement, restoration. When you finish a short rest, you can expend a sorcery point, but no more than equal to half your sorcerer level down. I don't know if this is new or not. It was at 20th level. And they kind of put this a little earlier, which is nice. If you have no uses of innate sorcery left, you can spend 2 sorcery points when you take a bonus action to activate it. Okay. In addition, when your innate sorcery is active, use up to 2 of your meta magic options on each spell you cast. This is crazy. This is actually really good. Yeah, this is insane. And then you get your epic boon. Arcane Apotheosis. When your innate sorcery feature is active, you can use one of your meta magic options on each of your turns without expending sorcery points on it. Yeah, this is really, really, really good. Let's see. Can't modify spell in this way if you've already cast a level 1+ spell on the current turn. Nor can you cast a level 1+ spell on this turn after modifying a spell this way. Okay, what they're trying to stop you from doing, and this was like something that they already kind of did, but a lot of DMs, myself, kind of ignored this, is that if a sorcerer uses Quicken Spell, I totally allowed them to cast another spell as their action. So if they wanted to throw 2 fireballs or do like fireball and teleport or whatever they wanted to do, I allowed them and I was cool with it, but this is them kind of doubling down on the ruling of saying you can't do that. You're only allowed to cast a 1st level spell or like a cantrip. Does it make them objectively way stronger than any spellcaster? Yes, but I felt like that was the place where sorcerer is meant to operate in, is combat. While wizards kind of operate in utility and knowledge, right? Wizards get like the most amount of spells that you can learn. Sorcerers can't learn nearly as much, but those spells are very destructive. All right. So, I mean, that's about it. I think this is extremely high B tier, A tier, possibly. You got huge buffs to your combat pretty much overall. Nothing that really changes your roleplay factor at all. But as far as combat, this is actually pretty good. So I would actually put this kind of low A tier. This is really nice. Getting advantage on each of your attacks when you're in your innate form. Where was it? Advantage on attack rolls of the sorcerer spells you cast is pretty nice. So you cast like a nice Scorching Ray, and you have advantage on all of those. Yeah, that's nice. Or if you do like Chromatic Orb and then make it a twin spell, you shoot it twice, have advantage on both. All right. That's it for Sorcerer, and our final one is the Warlock. All right. I don't think they might have done much with Warlock. Eldritch Invocations. These are the exact same. 2 cantrips. Magic Cunning. Perform an esoteric rite for 1 minute. At the end of it, you regain expended pack magic spell slots, but no more than number of half of your maximum rounded up. This is kind of just like a different arcane recovery that they're giving warlocks. But the difference is that you can do it for a minute, so you don't actually need a short rest, which is actually kind of huge. Eva Wood, howdy. Howdy to you as well. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. Warlock subclass has the same ASI, so that's going to be the same. Contact patron. In the past, you usually contacted your patron through intermediaries. Now you can communicate directly. You always have contact other plane spell. This is kind of nice. With this feature, you can cast the spell without expending a spell slot to contact your patron, and you automatically succeed on the spell saving throw. I'm a huge fan of this one. Okay, so like a big thing that I do in my campaigns is I don't really have clerics or paladins meet their deities, but I do feel like warlocks need a lot of interactions with their patrons. So I'm glad that they put this in. What are you reading? We're looking at the new changes for the D&D classes with the new edition. So in case you don't know, 5.5 is coming out, or rather has come out, and they've made some changes in the classes, and then we're putting those changes on a tier list. Kind of showcasing what's been good, what's been bad. So yeah. You unfortunately made it at the end. We're up with Warlock, and then we would have ranked them all. But Contact Patron, this is actually a big dub. I'm a big fan of this one. Mystic Arcana, this is the exact same. You get a 6th level spell slot. You get another Warlock spell of this choice. Level 13, level 15, level 17. Cool. Get an epic boon, Eldritch Master. Whenever you use your Magic Cunning feature, you regain all expended pack magic spell slots. That's actually nice. Does it say... Does Magic Cunning say you need to do this? Okay, so once per short rest, you can get your 2 spell slots back. Okay, does it say how many invocations you can learn? Whenever you gain a Warlock level, you can place one of your invocations. You gain more invocations as shown. You get a maximum of 10. I believe that's way more than... yeah, so I mean, you get 2 more than extra. Your VTuber model is looking epic. This classic old wizard. Thank you, thank you. All right, so there has been pretty much the only changes is the Magic Cunning and the Contact Patron. It's just 2 of them. Are they buffs? Yes. Are they huge? Not really. This kind of is more mid-tier. Doesn't really do much to change anything, but it doesn't make it worse. It's not like Warlocks get any kind of debuffs. They just kind of got more RP stuff. So yeah, seems like you're new on Twitch. Am I right? I've kind of been my stream schedule is extremely unpredictable and absolutely terrible. Sometimes I can stream like 4 nights in a row. Sometimes I'm gone for like 2 months. But I'm definitely more active on YouTube than I am on Twitch. Okay. Speaking of YouTube, I'm gonna have to make a video just on this paladin change. This upsets me so much. But we have done the objective of today. We have ranked, aka he never streams. That's not true. I just stream at like a very awful, unpredictable schedule that not even myself can know when I'm gonna stream. Oh man. Yeah, overall I would say I'm actually gonna say Monk got a bigger buff than Cleric did. I think overall Monk's got the best. You know, I'm tempted to, well, now I mean our tier list for S tier was that they only got buffs and no debuffs. That's what I was thinking, that your stream is so amazing while you got less followers. I appreciate that compliment very, very much. I haven't seen you all last month. Yeah, I have not. I have not opened anything in the last month, not my YouTube channel or my Twitch. It was a very busy, I think it was like actually like 2 months. Bart should be more towards war crimes, but they only got buffs, didn't they? Or rather, like, okay, they lost. Let's go back and recap. I hope many people slide into your stream. I hope so as well. I love giving people an entertaining stream. Okay, so bards lost the ability to learn paladin spells, thankfully. Okay, if paladins or if bards also were able to take divine smite, I'd lose it. That would be my draw limit. But yes, they lost. They can't take paladin or warlock spells. So that was a big rip for them. But they did get powered heal and powered kill always prepared. And I believe, wasn't there a change? Was there a change in bardic inspiration? Or am I trolling? Yeah, okay, yeah. Instead warlocks can get divine smite and better. Yeah, that part is pretty OP. Or ranger spells. They can get ranger spells, that's true, but I'll be honest, what ranger spells are they missing? There's like Conjure Volley, that's like a unique one. By the way, if you don't mind, can I ask you something? Yeah, go for it, absolutely. I think, man, what are the... All right, let's find out what the ranger specific spells are. I can't imagine there's too many of them. Man, I don't think there's a way to do like ranger only, just what ranger can take. Unless we use the power of Google. Ranger only spells 5e. All right, here they are. Swift Quiver is the highest level spell. Transmute your quiver so it produces an endless supply of non-magical ammunition. Let's be honest, after like session 5, both DMs and players just forget about keeping track of ammo. But if they did, then yeah, this is nice. Conjure Barrage. I know this is maybe a good one. Throw a non-magical weapon or a piece of ammo in a 60-foot. Creatures take 3d8 on a failed save. Half as much. I'm a graphic artist. I'm doing it professionally for 7 years. Wow. Would you like to see my creativity? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can join our Discord and feel free to post things right there. Yeah, let me get the link for the Discord and put it in the chat. I'm always like, I need to keep that tab somewhere every time before I stream. Oh, I sniped it. We're good. Okay. Theoretically, that should be it. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think Bard leaves B tier. That's for sure. I think it goes to C tier. I'm fine with pushing Warlock up to B tier instead. Because in retrospect, Bard did get nerfs. Warlock did not get any nerfs. They only got buffs. They just weren't crazy buffs. Oh, Druid is actually the hot topic I wanted to talk about. Druid's losing an unlimited amount of wild shapes, I think is way bigger than what we previously talked about. And here's the reasoning. For barbarians to lose all their rage, it wasn't too crazy because you're never having a situation where they're gonna run out of rages. But for druids, they do use their wild shapes a lot in combat, especially because when they get knocked down to 0, it knocks them out of their shapeshift, and then they can re-shapeshift, kind of make them very tanky. Now, was having them have unlimited wild shapes very annoying to fight? Yes, absolutely. But it was a level 20 feature. And if you have a lot of characters that are level 20, that's kind of a different issue in itself. So that's kind of my main counterpoint. I have joined. Congratulations. Welcome to the server. And there's friend requests. All right, but we have done it. We're giving one last look. Do we have any problems with our tier list here, our rankings? This is very important where we have them. If you don't mind me asking, can I add you personally? Yeah, absolutely. These are the final moments of our stream. We are actually at 1 hour and 59 minutes. We have 50 seconds left to make this a perfect 2-hour stream. I want to end this at 2 hours on the dot. So we have 50 seconds left. If you guys have any problems with these, you have like probably 30 seconds to say it because there is a bit of a chat delay. I am ending this in 40 seconds. But we have ranked these. Hopefully there will be a stream tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. I do plan that the next time I do stream, whether that's tomorrow or the day after, we are going to be making a dungeon together. So hopefully you guys are excited for that and you are there to help out. Can I send you my work on your chat? Yeah, absolutely. Feel free. All right. 13 seconds. In that case, everybody, have yourselves a great night. Drink a nice cup of coffee. Thank you for following. And with that, 3, 2,